What's up, ball?
Coming right at you.
Sound like a scary movie.
My name is written in stars, and I will give everything, all that I have to the cause. Fight against evil, run through the pain, battle it all, this is more than a game. I am a lion and I can't be tamed, it's how it was made, it's ice in my veins, run through it all. No matter the odds, I will answer a call. The enemy knocks on the door. Even the greatest among us will fall, but the greatest will get back up. So I won't back down, and I won't give up, and I will act now, and I will stand up. They know that I'm here for it all. Rise up, no matter what's in my way. Rise up, I will do what it takes. I will keep on fighting. I'll rise through it all. Rise up, no matter what's in my way. Rise up, I will do what it takes. I will keep on fighting. I'll rise through it all. Rise up.
No matter what it is you need, you'll find it at your local Par-Mar store. From gas to grocery, snacks, and everything else you always seem to. Par-Mar stores has it. Need more savings? Download the Par-Mar app and sign up for the Par-Mar Rewards Card. You won't only see our stores in your neighborhoods, you'll see us in your neighborhoods too. We are proud to be in your town and proud to be a part of the community. Come see us at Par-Mar stores, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Absolutely.
Wilson Martino Dental. Did you know that 95% of our dentists have graduated from WVU? And many former players and WVU coaches trust Wilson Martino Dental with their oral health. The Mountaineers and Wilson Martino Dental. Yeah, we that.
And yes, we do that all the time. That is Mountaineer Hardcourt Legends. How are you, Mountaineer Nation? I hope you are doing well. I hope that this night brings you hope, even after the Kansas Jayhawks game, even after the loss, because that loss was a game that the Mountaineers fought hard. They didn't always fight the smartest, but they fought hard, and where they can go ahead, hopefully tonight, at the Hilton Coliseum in Ames, Iowa, go ahead and defeat the Cyclones, who are 17-11, 8-8 overall. And let me get to our legends, and then, of course, let's start off with Jarrod West. Jay West, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing great, buddy. Doing great, Wolf. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, man. Love your input. And real quick, what was your take there? Top thing off of the game. What's the best thing you saw?
I saw the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Okay. All right, good. That leaves it good. That's a great intro, man.
And I know we'll get into it, but I mean, obviously we competed at a high level. Our big three stepped up. Then you add Kearney, who makes it our big four. They all played well, I thought. And the ugly is, and once again, I always sound like I'm piling on my man, but you know, the ball's in Toussaint's hand in the last possession, and at the time he's 0 for 1 with 1 assist, and he dribbled for 30 seconds. I mean, that just can't happen, you know. And guess what? That was a game. You know, I'm not a person that talks about the refereeing, but I know a lot of West Virginia fans harp on the refereeing. We got the benefit of the doubt on the call, in my opinion, all night. And so we had that game to win, and you know, you can't let that go. But we'll get on. I know we'll get deeply into that later, Wolf. So I'll save some of my comments.
All right. Yeah, well, listen, Tim Kearney. All right, Tim, what's your take, man? And you just heard Jay West, the good, the bad, the ugly.
I totally agree. I mean, what the last 20 seconds, whatever, with Desant, I'm yelling at the TV and screaming. You got Trey wide open in the right hand. He just kind of drove all around the left hand side up against guys, twice his size, and I'm like, pass the damn ball. The fact that it was a 2-point game and they shot a hell of a lot better. Kansas shot a hell of a lot better than we did, but we were still in the game. So I mean, the guys played with heart, but that last 20 seconds, just I got to shake my head. That's all.
Are you shaking your head, DP?
You got to get a shot off.
Yes.
You got to get a shot off. You had the ball for 20. I could have walked the ball up court at 56 years old and got a shot off. Even with the double team coming at me, I could have got a shot off. Let's get a shot off. You can't play.
Okay.
You cannot play that good. I thought they played a good game, very winnable game. To not get a shot off. If they miss a shot, the whole feeling is different because you miss a shot. Don't take a shot. Lose by 2. Now you begging for an NCAA berth after a loss.
He knows what he's talking about. We talked about that last week too. Hey, politician, baby, politician.
Yes.
Well, there's no doubt about it.
One thing. Kelly McCourt, how you doing? You shout it out, everybody. We see you every week. Every game. So I wanted to say hi to you.
Yes, we know. Hey, I put his name up there, man. I actually was on top of it this time. All right, but listen.
Same here with Kelly. But shout out to Kelly. Appreciate the comments.
Okay, you got this. From the Boys and Girls Club to the NBA. That's Lowe's more. I told you we had Lowe's on. I was going to order his book. I'm totally impressed with it thus far. Boys and Girls Club, Hall of Fame. And here's Lowe's. Look at this. He's got it forwarded to him from Denzel Washington. Are you kidding me? That's my guy right there, Denzel. And, of course, also with Denzel's wife, Pauletta, which I've never met, but I'd love to meet Denzel one time. So I'm actually kind of jealous right now, but very cool. So we got hey, Amazon right here. You can get it on Amazon for Lowe's. So hey, it's a wonderful book, man. All the way to the Boys and Girls Club, all the way to the NBA. It's got stories and great stories. So Lowe's more, good job on the book. And let's go to good jobs. I want you to tell me this. I'm going to go to you, Tim Kearney, first. And I want you to tell me what you think on actually if this is intentional. This is actually Iowa State and Oklahoma, where Iowa State played, but is this intentional by the big man? I looked at it like a high karate chop kick, man. And he's like, "Oh, are you okay?"
That's one of the brothers there from Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
What's his name? Yeah. Well, he kind of reminds me of Phil Collins. He'll get it done no matter what. If he's got to kick somebody or punch somebody, but he'll get it done.
Well, I wanted to go to you first because usually you talk about punching people. But this is a kick.
That was Phil. Okay.
All right. DP, was that intentional or not?
He don't jump that high. So guys who don't jump that high kick their feet out when they want to get some space. He kicked that guy. You know what I mean? Like, then you got to clean it up because you don't want to get thrown at the game. You got to go, "Oh, I'm sorry, my fault." Sometimes when guys block my shot, I used to smack them in the face after they block my shot. But, hey, my fault. Or this is like rake down and I hit him in the face. No, he knew what he was doing. No, he knew he was doing.
Because I have to say is that when I did a karate kick, I used to do the Ultimate Fighting. And when I did an extension like that, it was actually directed at somebody.
Yeah.
I was trying to hit. Jay West, what do you say to that?
No, I agree. He's not the most athletic. So when you do that, that's very intentional.
Very intentional.
That's not even a question. But I like how he was very politically correct after checking on him to make sure he was okay. He's a smart guy, you can tell.
Are you okay, man? Are you all right?
Hey, Dale,
in the locker room, laughing, I don't know what, watching in the film next day. I got him.
Hey, Dale, we talked about this before, and even Phil, he attests to it. that if someone's going to block a shot, his 503 was with a fist, and he would punch you in the face.
Exactly. Well, we got to get Phil back on, but unfortunately, he's been in Florida. But I'm so thankful for all the legends we've had on here. But this is the crew right now. You guys have been here the longest. So let's take a look here, because what I wrote about this here, you got 4 guys this season, averaging doubles in scoring. You know, we got Evan Matthews at 10, Trey Mitchell at 12, Stevenson at 15. Kearney, Johnson at 11, and Toussaint's even a 9.4. I couldn't round that one up, but so you almost have 5 guys scoring double digits, which is a big improvement regardless from the beginning of the Big 12 to absolutely right now. And Jay West, let's go ahead and talk to you. What do you see on here when you're looking at this and the development of the team? We only have 1 game left. Going ahead into the Big 12 tournament, hopefully a little bit more after that. But this is it. This is what you got now. What's your overall thoughts?
Well, it's kind of like what we've been talking about, or at least what I've been stressing all year, kind of like our big 3 with Eric, Trey, and Emmett. But you got Kearney's done his part, so you definitely got to include him in, you know, the big 3 or the big 4, getting the most of our points from those guys. And then, you know, the bench mob coming with Bell also as a starter. You know, I like the energy that Joe brings. I just wish we just got to control him a little bit and let him understand we don't need him to be a scorer. We need him to be a stabilizer, set people up type of guy. And then when you bring Wagyu, Okwango, and Sumnik off the bench, those guys' stats don't really show you the true story of the importance that they bring. So I think we're doing pretty good. Now we just got to, you know, hopefully we get a big-time road win tonight and take care of business at home, because unlike Hugs, I feel like we still got some work to do.
Still got some work to do. Okay.
I think we do. But, you know, Stevenson, to those guys' credit, Trey, Emmett, Stevenson, and Kearney, you can tell that they're trying to step it up a little bit and lead by example, and we need that to continue.
Okay, Tim, you got Wagyu, who's out, and definitely with a right foot injury. We saw that against Kansas. Looks like he's still listed as there. Like I said, we got these points, but let's talk about like Seth Wilson. He's been losing time. He's second of the team with 30 or 3-pointers with 31. You know, what's going on? And, you know, should these younger guys be playing a little bit more or not?
I think they should, but, you know, in the Kansas game, and we talked about it earlier before we got online, but, you know, I'm sorry. I mean, Kearney, he plays well, but to have 8 turnovers, you know, against Kansas, he's got to take care of the ball. We have somebody bring the ball up the court that, you know, that we can depend on. I mean, that was literally just what's his name from Kansas just stole the ball from him. I don't know how many times. Like I said, and that was. Sorry, guys. You know, and Jarrod, I know, you know, being a guard, I mean, you understand that. I mean, it's just like he was stripped of the ball so many damn times.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this, though, Tim. You're right. I agree with the kid. That was, even the announcer said he was giving him more than the usual turnovers. But you had guys like Trey in the paint. The guy just took the ball out of his hands. Yeah, I mean, you had Trey where the guys are – there's one thing I don't like, and let's go to you, Darryl, on this. The one thing I don't like is when it looks to me like it's a lazy turnover. Hard turnovers are great. Passing hard, you know, doing something to advance your point is one thing. But guys slapping the ball out of your hand or coming behind and knocking it, to me that seems lazy. If I could just say that word, you know, lazy. It doesn't seem like you're focused about defending that ball. It's kind of like, you know, you're not being aggressive enough in defending that ball.
It's being weak with the ball. You got the ball in your hands.
Better word.
Yeah.
That better word. What about DP? Go ahead.
Well, I think that's on the scouting report. He doesn't. He's not. You know, he's not a strong ball handler. You know, it showed against Texas. You know, all the top teams, it shows that they will take the ball. He plays.
Well, it wasn't just Trey now, though, but we're talking Kearney. It's 21 turnovers, man.
Yeah, Kearney's situation is different. He is not a natural point guard. He's being made into a point guard. So he's going to have days like this when he play against a natural point guard. And the kid from Kansas is a natural point guard, defender and offensively. So when he played against him, so the guy, you know, and I'm sure it was on the scouting report, so he saw something and they saw something and he exploited it. And, you know, and it just kept tripping up. What is that noise?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It sounds like a ringing.
Yeah, it sounds like a scary movie.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
So I just think, with Kearney, the way the offense is, he dominates the ball. So he's going to have turnovers. And I just think he just needs some help at sometimes. And that's one of those games where he probably needed more help. And I think, then when he doesn't get the help, he has to fight through it. And I thought he did a decent job despite the turnovers, and then he kept him in the game. So it's we can sit here, Kearney is, Kearney that, but like they're trying to make him something that he's really not, and he's been doing it all year. And he just played a guy that's a natural point guard.
Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and break this down because this here is great effort. 26 points in the paint. I believe you guys said that they had to score in the paint as well. I think they actually did a better job than I thought they would do without being in the paint. But you can see the paint here. You can see landing the free throws, which they outperformed Kansas in. But again, is what you're taking. And Tim, let's start off with you, man. And you can see the points of paint. Big Trey, 20 points in the game. That's a big deal. Big deal.
No, it is. And Jarrod said as well as I did from before this game that we have to take it into the paint. That's what needs to happen, just to pull everybody inside so we can start working the outside. But we need to have a better job of guys posting up and busting their ass and giving the ball. But they did a good job as far as points in the paint and attacking the basket. And we need to have that happen tonight because obviously Oklahoma, from the clips I saw from the game with Iowa State, is that they attack the basket, and that's what we need to do.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Jay West? What do you think about the points in the paint? You can see, they actually got some second chance points, some second effort here. They really did play hard, man.
Oh, yeah. That's one thing Bobby Huggins' teams are known for playing hard, pounding the paint, offensive rebounding. And with our personnel this year, our advantage, we have two tweeners at the forwards, Emmett 6'7", Trey 6'9", Bell 6'10", and then the young guys off the bench. Like we talked about before Kansas, Emmett had a size advantage. Trey had a size advantage. Bell had a size advantage. So we had to play to our advantage. Mitchell, I know he has a few lackluster turnovers, but the last few games he's kind of playing pretty well and being more aggressive inside. Like we've always said, we're close. We're close, and obviously we're a lot better at home. On the road, we haven't had that signature win on the road, and we really let one slip away the other night. But I thought the guys, for the most part, played hard. They played fairly well. We were pretty good in the paint. We just didn't have enough down the stretch to pull it out, and I feel bad because you can't say that they didn't compete. I thought they competed pretty well, and it's hard to win on the road, especially against good teams.
I was asking the guys before the show this, and we didn't get a chance to ask you, but you only get so many opportunities. I played for a national championship, lost, won't ever have that opportunity again. All of us had those moments where you won't get that opportunity again. These guys will not get a chance to win a game like that again. Whether they go to the NBA, overseas, it doesn't matter. They won't have that opportunity in the fall. And that's a real shame there. What you think?
I got a story, and the word you was looking for that I just about Trey Mitchell is being casual with the ball. Casual. So when I was coaching, I used to watch that stuff because I stole a lot of basketballs at West Virginia. So I look how ball placement and where they hold the ball, how they pass the ball. You get these little, small tendencies of how guys do things. So the word casual is probably the best word. They was being casual with the ball. When you're casual with the ball, that's when all the turnovers.
Well, if you're casual, are you focused?
I mean,
if you're in a game in Kansas, what's the difference?
Right. It's casual. But that's his personality.
That's his personality. I was just fixing to say that's his personality. Yeah.
His personality. Some people can't. I was casual off the court, but I was a demon on the court. I would fight you, cuss you, all kind of stuff on the court. Off the court, I barely talk. But he's the same way both on the court and off the court. So I think Jarrod said it the last time. He's such a nice guy in his interview. You know what I mean? That's the way he plays. He's a nice guy. You know what I mean? Like he don't get mad
but he
at
got
nobody.
you 20. He got you 22 the game before, which you were asking for, and now he got you 20, which is above the 14 to 16 that you said is you needed more from him. But again, why can't you get a complete game then? I'm not even trying to rip on him. That's not my purpose here.
No.
But what I'm saying is, you don't get this opportunity again.
But that's who he is. It's hard to change, in the fifth year guy. You know what I mean? From coming from different places.
Darryl, I understand what you're saying. You said it's casual, but it's more like ball position. You catch a ball and you drop it down. You drop it down here and everything else.
That's casual. Yeah.
That's casual. Instead of keeping that ball up and keeping your elbows out, and somebody comes you just knock him in the head.
Yeah, we can't do that no more, Tim.
That's right.
You can't do that no more, Tim. You can't touch them. You can't touch them in their face no more, Tim. Believe me, I popped a few guys in my career.
Okay, well, listen, but here's the deal, and I can remember watching Jay West pop a few guys with his mouth, thinking is that he was all over them, talking and even to his own teammates. I can remember that getting after them when they weren't out there getting it done. And I guess to me is this, man, is maybe because I'm just old and I just understand the point of where they were at and they had the opportunity. And because you say casual, I'm saying, oh my gosh, casual. I can't even conceive of it. Of being in a championship quality game caliber and calling it casual. Again, you're right, I guess, but I just think it's a lack of concentration.
I call it a sense of urgency. Emmett and Trey, they don't play with a sense of urgency. And that might be personality, but I think that could be coached. I think if you had a strong leader, if you had a point guard that held them accountable for their lackadaisical moments, and the thing is, Wolf, if those guys would get a sense of urgency and tap into being a dog and being more aggressive, that might just be the little piece that we need to get over and win a game like that.
Yeah, I think Hugs got spoiled. He had Kenyon Martin. Straight dog. Yep. You know what I mean? He had some guys that were straight dogs. I used to tell my kids when I coached them, I say, it's one game I regret. And I played overseas. I was in Korea. We are playing in the championship series, and me and the other American talk about going home. So our focus was going home, not winning the championship. And we was up 2-1, and we end up losing the series. And I was like, you know what? I said, because I let that little bit of doubt sneak in my mind about going home and not finishing what I was supposed to do. We lost the game because I didn't put my all in. I don't know what these guys thinking. That's why you have former players on the bench to help these guys. You know what I mean? To get through those kind of situations. If Jarrod West is on that bench, those situations where we're talking about guys not doing things wouldn't happen. You know what I mean? I wouldn't let guys have those lax moments because you'll be on them. It's not accountability. Yeah, it's not cussing them out. You just got to make them. Greg Monroe, I remember having a conversation with him. Come to the bench. You couldn't yell at Greg Monroe. Greg, man, you got to play a little harder, man. You don't want these guys get a name off of you. He'd be like, all right, and go back in and play harder. You know what I mean? Like I had another kid that he was beating himself up. Julian Vaughn. Oh, I'm having a bad game. I said, Julian, 17 minutes left in the first half. 20 minutes in the second half. It's like you don't know.
We ain't been playing hard enough. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's only 3 minutes. You got a moment. Let's go. And that's those the conversations you got to have with these guys.
Well, I'm going to say this. When Trey was out there against Oklahoma State, he was flexing after his slams and his toughness. He looked good. And when Emmett would go to the basket for the last except for last year because he was gone out in Seattle. But you know what? It was impressive. When he wants to cut to the basket, there are a few players that can actually stop him if the pass is there right to him. I just don't know why they don't do it on a consistent basis. And I'm not even talking about full game. I'm talking game. It's not even a half. You can't get them to play that physical 2 halves in a row. I'm sorry. I've been watching every single game that you guys have. That's what I see.
Because they don't have that dog in them. That's what Jarrod been saying before. You got to have it in you. You can't it's easy to tone a guy down. It's hard to tone a guy up. You know what I mean? You give me a guy that could run up and down the court all day, play hard all day. I'll tone him down into something that we'll want. But to make a guy play hard, you got to beg him. You got to do this. You got to do that. like we doing right now, what we talking about. You got to do this. Oh, I hope you're in a good mood today. Oh, I got to piss him off now. Oh, that's not working. What I got to do now? Oh, maybe I got to call his girlfriend. Maybe his girlfriend to help him play harder. That's what you got to do with guys that don't play hard. You know what I mean? So the guy.
All right. I think we beat this to the point as much as we can beat it. But let's go ahead and take a look here. You can see this. Here's a turnover by Kansas. Unusual 19 turnovers. Pretty good. Again, you said the officiating, you said the turnovers, everything was working WVU's way except for WVU's 21 turnovers. Go ahead, Tim Kearney.
I'm having a hard time looking at the video, number one, because it's real choppy and blurry. But as far as the turnovers, I mean, it was pretty equal, I think, on the turnovers, wasn't it? Between both.
It was equal, but at the same time, you're there, they're at home, and 21 turnovers. I don't know if West Virginia's ever won a game with 21 turnovers, especially against the number 3 team in the country.
Well, I'll go back to it, and I don't want to beat on it, but as far as Condry, what with these 8 turnovers, I mean, we need to have somebody who can bring the ball up. You take those 8 turnovers away, and look at how many points that they scored off of that.
Well, look at that right there. He just took the ball out of Trey's hand.
Yeah.
Is that casual?
That's as bad. That's as bad.
No, but I mean,
you should never make a move like that.
Basketball players call casual?
Yeah,
I never saw you guys do that.
No, you take candy from a baby is what it looked like. You know what I mean? You took it right out of his damn hands.
But it's development. It's development. It's development. You do post moves. You got to do them like so. This game they had the shorter guys, so you can't put the ball down there.
Right.
Against the bigger guys, he can do that. But that's development. Like this is the part of the people game. People just think post moves is just drop steps. No, it's ball placement. Where you place the ball. If I know Jarrod West likes to come and steal the ball, I have the ball over my head. You know what I mean? I don't give it. He just turned around and gave it to him. Before I got back to Georgetown, I left. And Greg Monroe was giving the ball to people because he held the ball under his elbows. Yeah. That's what Mitchell just did. It's just development. It's like, you have to get the right development. Sometimes we can blame the kids, but if they don't know, they don't know. You know what I mean? We just assume they know because they're playing at a high level. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of deficiency with fundamentals at this level because they're not being taught.
Okay.
You drop that ball below your chest. Any guy on that court can take the ball away from you.
Listen, what year is Emmett Matthews? What year is Trey Mitchell? What year is Stevenson? What year is Toussaint? Here's the last 2 minutes. They played hard, but, you can sit there and say you can't blame the players or they played so hard at the fall about beating Kansas. But guess what? Again, I'm going to say you don't get many chances. This is a great job here by Kearney, everybody saving the ball. This is playing hard. But when I say sometimes you play hard, but you don't always play smart. And I think when you look at it, who's got the poise down at the end? You got to have poise. Not only it's putting it all together. And when I guess my point is this: everybody's like, "Yeah, Wolf, you're wrong. They played hard, but you know what? They didn't play with poise. They're seniors."
Well,
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say one thing. Coaching. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jarrod. I hear you.
Well, I've been saying it all year. I love Kearney. I love Toussaint. It's hard to win on the road when you don't have a leader or true point guard who can direct traffic, slow you down when you need to be slowed down, speed you up when you need to be sped up, hop at people's chests to hold them accountable. We're close, but sometimes we look like we're chick with no head, no leadership, no guidance. I mean, there's nowhere in the world with 5 seniors you should finish the game dribbling the basketball then travel. So I'm in full agreement with you. We're close, but when you got 5 seniors, you can't go off of moral victories. We either win or you lose. No such thing as a moral victory. So I'm in full agreement with you. That's a game we let off the hook, but I firmly say because, I just don't think we have a true leader, and we haven't had that, to be honest with you. We had Deuce. We had Javon before that. I like Malik Curry. He's a good kid from last year. But he wasn't him, Kearney, Joe, those guys aren't true point guard. combo guards. They're short people playing guard. I don't know what you want to call them, but you got to have someone that can run a team and get the ball to people when they need to have it. And it rears its ugly head against teams in crucial moments, and that's what happened the other day.
But we talk about all these guys play good, right? But none of them stepped up to get the ball out of Joe's hands. So nobody really wanted to take that shot. They was waiting.
This is my DP. Is my question right here. Should Evan have taken that shot right there? Somebody
should have got that ball from him and said, "No, give me the ball."
Look at Evan right here. Yeah. I mean, you see, Evan gets the ball. Is this Evan's shot, or is he right passing it back to Toussaint? Right here, Evan, right there. Should he have got in or no?
He's never right passing it back to Toussaint. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he shouldn't have passed it to him. Right. He was going to the rim. He had a shot. Could have jumped over everybody, made a shot. At least tied the game. I don't know if they was trying to go for the win or they was trying to go for the tie. I would have went for the tie. You at the rim, make them foul you. Could have got an and one. Make your free throws. Boom, different game. Like throwing it back out to the guy who was erratic, I wouldn't have thrown it back out to him.
No, I mean, then if you look at that video you just showed, Dale, I mean, on the right side, you got Trey wide open on the right side.
He couldn't see him. He couldn't see him. All on bodies, he's too short. He couldn't see him.
Oh, yeah.
And then Mitchell kind of hid behind a guy instead of finding another open spot. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you got to move. You know what I mean? Because guys can't see. We can say what we want to say because we're not on the floor. But when you're on the floor in traffic and the smaller guys can't see out, you got to move to another spot. That's why guys now go to the corner a lot because when guys get in the lane, that's a bailout. And like he started off in the corner, then he bailed, then he started going to the wing, then he definitely couldn't see him no more.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say this one last thing. 3-pointers, they were 50%. Kansas, and I actually did a video on it. They're 10 of 20, and probably 8 of those 10 3-pointers they had wide open. So you can't say that the guarding wasn't totally there on the players because they were wide open shots. And at home against Kansas, again, I'm asking a lot. I know I'm asking a lot, but at the same time, a lot was to be gained. And obviously, an NCAA tournament appearance probably would have been definitely a guarantee from that one on. Okay, before we move on to Iowa State, we have to go ahead and thank Country Roads Trust, West Virginia's name, image, and likeness team, changing the game for WVU student athletes. The Country Roads Trust, love those guys, man, big time. And, of course, we got Wilson Martino Dental. They are the big supporters of WVU. And did you know that other dentists graduated from WVU? Well, all but one, as we started out with one orthodontist. He's still from Penn State. I'm still saying it. I don't know why. Well, I guess they all can't be perfect, but they're pretty darn close. And Wilson and Martino Dental and Bobby Martino, we love you. You are the best. And, of course, Dan Cava, Toyota World, shop the world. And your Toyota dealer in Fairmount, West Virginia. Love you, Danny. Thanks so much for supporting Mountaineer Hardcourt Legends. And, of course, our title sponsor, Parmar Stores. I mean, over 200 stores in 5 different states. Now, they are just smoking, killing it. Love Big Wall. Meanwhile, man, up there in Milo. Parmar Stores, support them because they're supporting West Virginia. They're supporting their communities. Okay, so let's go ahead and throw up this right here with the stats. Now, you can see the stats again. Boy, was Iowa State ugly against Oklahoma. I mean, Oklahoma was ugly in the first half. Oklahoma got together in the second half. But you can see the stats here. They're not looking huge. But what they did now, if you remember, when the Iowa State played the Mountaineers last time, Crest started because this Kunte had a broken finger. He did not play. So Crest is now the 6th guy, I guess, guy off the bench. And Kuche, number 5, is starting. But look at those points here from the game, man. It's just not doing it. You have, Osuliani. I mean, he's only had 6 points. He had 10 points from Taman Lipsey, who's the freshman guard, number 3. 13, Jaron Holmes. He had 8 points. Gabe Kelsher, he had 12 points. Now, Holmes has averaged 13 points per game, and Kelsher's averaged 12 points. But again, this team gets their points off of their defense. So let's start out. We'll start with you, Jay West. What are you seeing here when you're looking at this Iowa State team? I think Timmy told me that they lost 9 out of their last 13. Yep. So they're in a slump. They were in a slump against Oklahoma. Terrible. And, of course, they lost the game by 10 points. What's your take, man?
I was just going to say they've lost 5 of their last 6. So that could either be good for us or bad for us. They're trying to figure some things out, so they're going to come out and play desperate because, anytime you lose, especially down the stretch of a season, some NCAA bids could come into mind or whatever. So they're definitely going to be desperate tonight. We have to obviously contain their shooting. Holmes, Osunami, who does very good on the ball screen. I think his name is Grill. What's his Grill? But the two shooters.
Oh, Grill, yeah, Caleb Grill.
Yeah,
Number two.
We have to contain them. But this is another game where Holmes plays like the fourth for them sometimes. So we're going to have a good size advantage inside. We're going to have to bounce back from a quick turnaround against Kansas, but play desperate. Like I said, I am not one that believes that we are in the NCAA tournament. I think we need a quality road win. So this is another opportunity for that to happen. But I think they are ripe for the taking, Wolf. Losing 5 of 6, 9 of 13. Your mind can start playing tricks on you when you start off good early in the season. Now you're kind of struggling. So I think that first 5 minutes, we need to punch them in the mouth a little bit and kind of let them know that we're here to get a win. This is a game that we definitely, I think, have a good chance of kind of sneaking out with a win tonight.
Excellent. Good breakdown there. Okay, what about you, Timmy? What do you think, man, when you see this Iowa State team was so good early on and has shown some vulnerabilities here towards the end?
I agree with Jarrod. I mean, if you look at their last 13 games, they've got 9 losses, out of the 13. But the thing that worries me is they got 8 seniors on that team. So tonight is senior night, and you look at 8 out of the 5 players are all seniors. So
that's a great point. That's a great point, Tim. Great point.
So they're going to go out. They know they've been playing flat. They've had, 9 losses in 13 games. It's their last game they're playing in Iowa State. And I know Jarrod, I know Darryl, it's senior night. You go out there and just lay it out on the line because it's your last game they're playing at home. That's what worries me. It's just the momentum side of it, the emotion. You think about that. And we got to make sure, and I hope the other guys respect that because, our Kansas State game coming up on Saturday, it's the last game for our seniors as well. And I hope they respect that because as a player, it means a lot playing your last home game. But if, the way that Iowa State from the last games I've been watching Iowa State play, they've been playing flat. There's no emotion there. But like I said, you talk about senior night with 8 seniors, it could change. That's what worries me.
All right, DP.
I mean, we've been losing, but we've been playing better also.
Yeah, I agree.
Like the last maybe a few weeks to a month, we are playing a lot different than we played in January. And just like that Kansas game, we're just one player away from winning that game, even with the turnovers. It was 21 turnovers to 20. You lose by not even getting a shot off. But I think as a whole, like when we lost to Texas Tech on the road, we didn't play bad. You know what I mean? We just haven't found a way to win. So hopefully, if we can win these next 2 and win 2 in the tournament, I think we got a chance in the NCAA. We'd be at 20. You know what I mean? I think you just it's just like they said, like Tim and Jarrod said. It's like you're worried about the senior night. You're worried about who's going to show up. You know what I mean? I think everybody's been doing pretty good lately. I just think we just have to find the way to win at the end. If we were playing like this in early January, we'd be in the NCAA playoffs right by now.
Totally.
It's just, we're playing much different than we played them the first time. We're playing them at home. They're not as hot as they were at the beginning. Maybe they're tired. Again, like we said in the last game against Kansas, if West Virginia make it ugly, because the referees gave us a chance to win, if we make it ugly and play the way we should play inside, to outside instead of just all outside, I think we have a good chance.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look here at this points in the paint that Iowa State they had outscored Obviously, OU there in the paint, but their shooting was absolutely horrendous when you look at 31% from the field the whole game, and 27% from 3-point, 59% free throw shooting. But it was a big deal, and free throws I think is going to be a big deal in the game coming up. They had listen. Here's what they do. Oklahoma had 18 turnovers. Iowa State their opponents average 18 turnovers per game. The 3 times this year, teams have had 25 or more turnovers. Iowa State's at the top when it comes to turnovers in the country in the NCAA. So, again, looking at this and breaking down the points, scoring, what's the first thing that the Mountaineers have to worry about? Jay West, you popped up here, so I'm just going to go with you. What do they got to do to take care of this game?
Well, obviously, you just mentioned the turnovers. We're not a very I don't want to say this and sound mean. Basketball IQ is not one of our biggest things that we have. So when you're on the road, senior night, energy, and one thing I will say about Iowa State, they have a very, very good home court advantage. That's one of their strengths. They're kind of like Morgantown. So we cannot allow the crowd to get involved in the game. Normally when you have turnovers, it leads to runouts or wide open threes. We can't let them get wide open shots. Obviously, they struggled to score the other day, which scares me because you rarely have back-to-back games at home where you don't shoot well. And with senior night, so I'm going to have to imagine they're going to shoot a lot better. So like I said earlier, the first 8 minutes, like I said about Kansas, I thought about y'all after that first 4 minutes and 8 minutes. I thought about y'all because I told my son Jaden, I said, WVU has a chance to win this game today. He said, you think? I said, first 8 minutes, buddy. So it's going to kind of be the same thing tonight. First 4 minutes, first 8 minutes on the road, senior night, good crowd. We have to kind of be a stalemate or, we can't be down 6 to 8. And once again, we can't expect those guys not to shoot well again tonight. They're going to shoot a lot better. So we got limit turnovers, play inside, outside like always. And we got to deal with that home court advantage. I know I scored my career high on senior night. So I guess Holloway and Keaton Hall. Hey DP, I was on fire. So I know what senior night is like. So we gotta be well prepared for that.
All right, Tim, let's go with that and what he's saying here, because how do you go ahead? All the guys are pretty much they're really kind of the same players. They have 3 guards before when Chris was in there. It was the 4 guards, and now Kutsi, who's number 5, is in there. He's a forward. So that was 3 guards and 2 forwards. But the same thing. How do you go ahead and stop these guys? Because Kelcher is going to be there, or you're going to have Jaron Holmes. Those guys are just play off of each other. They're a team, really. I guess is what I'm trying to say. How do you stop a team at home?
Well, first of all, if you look at the overall stats, they've got some seniors that are on the bench. And like I said, it's senior night. And if you look at the overall average scoring they've got good bench support. So, if somebody's not performing on the starter side of it, it looks like they've got some guys who can come in and perform. And then, like I said, the whole emotion, as far as being the senior night and everything else. And I agree with Jarrod. And Jarrod, you actually said the first 4 minutes of the Kansas game. And I was watching after the first timeout break. I started laughing. I said, okay, according to Jarrod, we're in this game. And then we looked at the 8-minute mark, and I said, we're in this game. According to Jarrod, we're in this game. But you're right. You look at the 4-minute marks and where we are. And at one point in the Kansas game, I thought they were going to start running away with it when they got a little bit of lead, but we came back and battled. So, this is going to be a battle for our guys. But if they play like they played against Kansas, I think we can win this game.
Okay, so let's go, DP. I'm going to break this, or I want you to break this down here. And, this is Oklahoma. Oklahoma scored the paint. They scored, their mid shots, and also on the perimeter. Again, this is what Iowa State did. They wanted to collapse down in the paint. They collapsed between 4 and 5, which the Mountaineers did a great job of shooting from the perimeter when they did that. That was the big deal in the first game. The other big deal was that the Mountaineers just came out for the worst free throw percentage shooting for games in a row. So they went ahead and they started nailing their free throws. Is that going to still be the same issues tonight for the offense, WVU?
No, well, I think the offense is much better now. Just those guys have to score down there. And Bell has to find an open spot. They're gonna have to double because they're small, so they're gonna have to double. That's why they double all the time and hope you miss threes. You know what I mean? So because they're a good 3-point shooting team. They get you because you're taller than them, so they try to drive you, get you off balance on the offensive end. On the defense end, they'll W, make you throw a bad pass, or like Bell can't shoot from outside the foul line, so they would double off his man a lot and rotate and make other guys win the game for you. But they're gonna give you, they're not gonna give you stuff inside. They'll let you catch it, then they'll start doubling you off the dribble.
Right.
And so hopefully hopefully we can find and make the right decisions and guys can hit open shots. And I don't think they're going to leave Stevenson. So Johnson and Emmett is going to have hit a lot of open threes today.
And Dale, I want to, as far as the pass game, Kansas, and I know I've been hard on Bell, but Bell, I think, had a very, very good game against Kansas. He was all over the floor. He had some nice steals. He was, very instrumental as far as how those guys played. I'd like to see him play that way tonight because it really does mean a lot for Bell. I like his play against Kansas, and hopefully he plays that way tonight too. I don't know how Darryl and Jarrod, how you feel, but I thought he played a good game. Didn't have a whole lot of points, but he made an impact.
Well, I've been saying that. I said at the last game, I said, he even though he hasn't been scoring, you need him on the floor sometimes because of those other things he does. When you count down, I got 2 games left. You might have 1 or 2 in the tournament or 1 and 2 in the tournament. When you definitely only got 2 games left, you don't know the next time you're going to play. So, sometimes there's like Jarrod said earlier about the sense of urgency. Maybe his sense of urgency has picked up a little bit, So, like the team has been playing better. We just need to, get play better to get a win instead of just playing better.
Jay West, how are you attacking this Iowa State defense that creates so many turnovers?
I think we just do what we do, run our offense, get the ball from side to side. I think this is a good game for Trey tonight. I know that the foreign kid is back. He's about 6'6", 6'7". He's more of a stretch 4, and then Bell. So we're going to have an inside advantage. I think we play inside out. Obviously, we need Keedy and Eric to be under control, but to make shots, especially early. But we just got to do what we got to do. Our main focus has to be on the defensive end. We can't let their shooters get open. We have to be on the string on their ball screen because Ostanami does a good job of, and forgive me if I'm mispronouncing his name, but he does a good job of rim running, and the big kid off the bench, they say good ball screens and they roll. The foreign kid is a different player, though. He and Mitchell are kind of very similar from a standpoint. They can go inside, outside. He's more of a stretch 4, but I think Trey's a little more physical, which is saying a lot.
What did you say? I'm gonna watch that now because I'm gonna watch the physicality of it.
Right.
Okay.
I think the most important thing is we got to keep that crowd out. They had, like I said earlier, Morgantown, Ames, and Kansas, I think, are the 3 best home court advantage from a student section in the Big 12. So, they do a very, very good job of, like we do, having that 6 man at home. So we got to kind of keep them out as much as possible.
Okay. Now, our free throws shots came in big time, like I was saying before last game. Is it going to still be the same issue, Tim Kearney, that we're going to have to make a lot of free throws, that Iowa State's going to foul a lot?
Well, to be honest with you, if you look at the stats for, the last 5 or 6 games, our free throw percentage is going up. Finally, we're hitting our free throws, whereas, back in January, it was horrendous. So I think they're really stepping up, from percentages I've seen, doing a hell of a lot better job as far as free throw. And Iowa State, they're going to be hacking us. It depends on how the officials call the game.
All right. And Darryl, let me ask you this then. How are you going to defend this? Because they got so many, like a balanced attack, a team attack. If you're obviously you're Bob Huggins, you're coaching this team, how are you defending?
I think you just got to be solid against these guys. I remember, like we said about Grady Dick, he wasn't a good ball handler. We doubled him once, he threw the ball away. You know what I mean? Yeah, he just gave the ball up. So, we got to figure out who the weaker ball handlers are and who's scoring might have to get it out of their hands and scramble a little bit. But I think honestly we can guard these guys straight up, and if we guard them straight up and just be solid, not go for steals, and don't get caught under the screens. He's stopping behind the screen, shooting threes. If that's the kind of guy they have. So I think with their scouting report, they got to abide by their scouting report, then make adjustments. And I think that's where we don't come in. We don't do a good job of making adjustments after the other team makes adjustments.
All right. Okay,
I thought they did go ahead. The Kansas game as far as some of the traps they were doing, and I'd like to see more of that.
Well, more of the traps. Okay, so who is your pick? Well, before I get off that, I did want to say is when I'm breaking down the film there for the Kansas game, I'm seeing a lot of the TV shots. As soon as Grady Dick went and scored points, they showed Mr. and Mrs. Dick. And if you looked at them, they look like they're both 6'9".
Exactly.
I mean, if you talk about and say, listen, man, we're gonna go ahead and have a kid, and he's gonna be the biggest, best basketball players of freshman.
The biggest, best dick in the world.
I know. I was just gonna say that.
Oh, yeah, I mean, sooner or later we're gonna get into this.
All right. I knew I should have said that. I couldn't help it. All right. Well, anyways, they are top.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and give you last word. I'm gonna start off with you, Jay West. What is this game? I'm gonna give you a second here to catch your breath. But what is this game going to do for the Mountaineers? How do you get them to know this is desperation if you want to do something at the end of the season?
I think with the seniors we have, I think they know the situation. I think that's why Huggs was kind of voicing it after the Kansas game, trying to politic for the spot. And I'm pretty sure he had to say the same to his team. I think if we're going to win a road game, tonight is a perfect night. We competed our butts off against Kansas. We should, once again, I'm not a moral victory guy, but if I was on that team Saturday, I would know we should have won that game. And if we play the same way, then we can come beat Iowa State. I think these guys know that they need to win one on the road, take care of business at home next week, and then win one in the tournament. I think that's the recipe for us to get to the NCAA tournament. We need to win one tonight, win next week, and win in the tournament. If we lose tonight, we got to win one next week at home and then two in the tournament. That's just my opinion. And I think if we do that, we should get a bid. But it's right for the taking tonight, Wolf. Losing 9 out of 13, on the road. I know
they can't have a lot of confidence, right?
What's that?
They can't have a lot of confidence.
Right. Iowa State can't have a lot of confidence. They're gonna be relying heavily on senior night, the emotion, and the crowd. And that first 5 minutes, we gotta smack them in the face a little bit and humble them a little bit. If we do that, I think we sneak out of here with a tough win tonight. Make it ugly. Prove what the DP would say. Hugs effect. A lot of free
throws. Kansas game was ugly.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like he said. All right, Tim. Now, as he said, that 5 minutes of emotion, that it's senior night. Do we have to withstand that 5 minutes of emotion? And even if they go up a little bit, it's okay because that emotion always leaves, and then it's down to business.
Well, as Jarrod said, and also Darryl says, you play ugly. You just knock them around at the same time. And we lost the game by 2 points to number three school in the country. I mean, a game that we should have won. So those guys should take pride in that and move forward and know that they can play with anybody within, with any team within the country. And that's what they got to believe in. And that's what Huggins has got to, instill upon them. They got to play like a team. They got to play like they played against Kansas, and they can beat anybody. I mean, that at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's about motivation and how Coach Huggins, instills that upon them. I mean, we can win this game. I mean, because Iowa State's been playing flat. They've lost 9 out of the last 13 games. I mean, the last game against Oklahoma, they played flat. Nothing's there. At the same time, as I said before, it's senior night with 8 seniors. So,
all right. Well, DP, let's say this, okay? It's Iowa State's not shooting well in the free throws. Should the Mountaineers follow them down in the paint?
No. Well, I don't think they score that well to be worried about them, making post moves and stuff like that. It's the other shots and the transition shots they get that we should worry about. If we play like we've been playing the last few weeks with more of a sense of urgency, taking care of the ball, don't let them seniors go out like they want to. We got seniors too. Don't let them seniors go out like that, ruin their senior night. I used to like ruin senior nights. As a coach, as a player, don't have a senior night on my watch. You know what I mean? Pride. You gotta have some pride. I think we've been playing with a little bit more pride lately. Not giving up. And we have been in games. We've been in games. I think it just sometimes at one point got to turn around. I think Iowa State has been going this way more. We've been going up this way more. We're still kind of doing that. But I think, just like Jarrod said, we just don't need for them guys to get hot and stay hot. First 4 or 5 minutes, I'm expecting Iowa State to jump out 15-5. I could be wrong, just because of emotions. Then I expect West Virginia just to grind it out from there, and I think we'll be fine. Because once we start grinding, I think we'll be fine.
Okay. Well, the Mountaineers are at the Hilton Coliseum tonight. Going to start at 9:00, and I think this is the last back-to-back that they do from Saturday and Monday. They've had 3 of them. I think Bob Huggins has got issues with that. He doesn't want that. But again, he's got issues with what he's got
everything.
Unfortunately, it's just the way it is, man.
Wolf, real quick. What did you think about his quote? What did you think about what he said the other day?
Well, which one was that?
Which one?
About we're an NCAA tournament. If you watch the game and don't believe it, and what do you think about that?
I'm going to go.
Is that being a politician, or what do you think?
Politician.
I think he's exactly what you said. He's a good politician. And all I know is that there are 2 things that are certain in life. One is that taxes are coming in April, and 2 is Gritty Dick's one heck of a basketball player. And that, my friends,
and by the way, hold on. And by the way, Grady Dix, okay? You know who he reminds me of? Doogie Howser. He looks like he's about 14 damn years old.
Well, he is only 18.
Yeah. Did you play with a Brian Dick?
Yeah, I did, but I didn't play with him. He was a teammate. Gentlemen, we gotta go.
Destined for greatness. My name is written in stars, and I will give everything, all that I have to the cause. Fight against evil, run through the pain, battle it all. This more than a game. I'm a lion and I can't be tamed. It's how it was made. There's ice in my veins, run through it all. No matter the odds, I will answer a call. The enemy knocks on the door. Even the greatest among us will fall, but the greatest will get back up. So I won't back down, and I won't give up, and I will act now, and I will stand up. They know that I'm here for it all. Rise up, no matter what's in my way. Rise up, I will do what it takes. I will keep on fighting. I'll rise through it all. Rise up, no matter what's in my way. Rise up, I will do what it takes. I will keep on fighting. I'll rise through it all. Rise up.
No matter what it is you need, you'll find it at your local Par Mar store. From gas to grocery, snacks, and everything else you always seem to run out of, Par Mar Stores has it. Need more savings? Download the Par Mar app and sign up for the Par Mar Rewards Card. You won't only see our stores in your neighborhoods, you'll see us in your neighborhoods too. We are proud to be in your town and proud to be a part of the community. Come see us at Par Mar Stores, and remember, if there's not a Par Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Wilson Martino Dental. Did you know that 95% of our dentists have graduated from WVU? And many former players and WVU coaches trust Wilson Martino Dental with their oral health. The Mountaineers and Wilson Martino Dental. Yeah, we do that.